on, y'all? It's DG back with another video today, giving y'all a quick detailed look and review on these right here, the brand new Dame 9 in the BAPE Camo colorway. So let's get right into it. Starting with the traction, it consists of this line pattern. The traction squeaks super loud, but I do feel like traction is not the best, especially in dusty settings. This traction pattern picks up dust really fast, in my opinion. In terms of performance, it does remind me of the Air Jordan 39, where it has really good grip, but because the grooves are pretty flat, when you're going really fast and you try to stop, it will slip every now and then. Just playing pickup in them, I did have a moment where I did slip like that a little bit, but for those who like squeak, this will provide you that, I guess, mental security, that placebo effect, that this traction is working well. And you know, a lot of hoopers say that squeak makes them feel faster, which is, you know, I could attest to that. I really like squeak in my basketball shoes, despite the fact that squeak does not affect performance. But in terms of overall grip, I do feel like it's a little bit inconsistent, especially on dust. If you are on a cleaner court, I do feel like it will perform a lot better. So I would recommend to wipe. Like, you guys can hear the squeak right there. Like, it is super loud. I guess it does make you feel faster. Overall traction is pretty good. I would just watch out for dust, so make sure to wipe. It's also not the most durable traction of all time, so I would not recommend taking these outdoors. In terms of the cushion setup, they are using Light Strike. When you are first playing in these, they do feel plush, but after you start breaking the shoe in, it does have a nice responsiveness to it. Kind of feels like a mattress that doesn't necessarily like sink in. You're not like sinking into the mattress itself. It's more like a comfortable flat ride. After breaking these in, after playing in these, it definitely does not feel like there's so much compression, but at the same time, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. So I would definitely describe it as that mattress where you're not super sinking into it. It's more so just like it's there, it's comfortable. You can definitely feel like some layer of cushion there, but it's going to provide you more response rather than that compression. With that said, because of that kind of like flat mattress analogy, you're not directly onto the floor, right? You can still feel that layer that is there underneath your foot. So it's not going to provide the ultimate court feel, but because it has that responsiveness, you're going to feel like you can plant for a jump shot or just, you know, move fast in this shoe because you're not really sinking into that cushion. With that said, there's a lot more compression in the heel, or at least it feels a lot more comfortable than in the forefoot. So if you are trying to move fast, you're not going to be bogged down by the cushion. The cushion is just overall really responsive, but it doesn't provide like the ultimate court feel like a Kyrie Low or just like the Anti-Kai 1, for example. For me, I like these types of cushion setups because it provides a balance of court feel and responsiveness and impact protection. Like, even just like purposefully planning like this, you can definitely feel that layer of cushion there, which I really like. So it does have a good balance of court feel, compression, a little bit of compression at that, and then some impact protection. Like, you may not like these if you need the most court feel, but if you're a type of hooper that needs like a good solid balance of everything in a cushion setup, I do think these are pretty good. Lastly, I do think that this cushion setup needs breaking in for sure. I do feel like they feel better over time. In my opinion, the fit of the shoe is definitely tricky because I do feel like it fits a little bit long. We'll talk about the materials, but it does have a leather kind of coat and base to the shoe, which is not as conforming as a mesh or like a Flyknit material, for example. So you pair that with the slightly long fit, you definitely feel a little bit of toe space, or at least I personally did. Because of that, I've had to tie my laces pretty tight. The good thing about the fit though is that there's no heel slippage, and the lockdown and the overall support is just really good in this shoe. And I do like this neoprene type of one booty construction upper. One issue that I personally faced as a wide footer, even going true to size with that little bit of toe room, were the materials themselves and how reinforced this upper is. Because I had a little bit of toe room, I had to tie the laces pretty tight, as you guys can see. Because of that, the materials, you know, tend to bend when you tie laces really tight. So you guys see a lot of crease marks in the upper right here, and that tended to pinch my foot just a little bit because, you know, obviously as a wide footer, the sides of my feet flare. There's also a ton of reinforcement on this upper. So at the sides of your foot, if you tie the laces pretty tight, it's going to dig into that. So my foot did go numb for a little bit. So overall, the fit is pretty tricky in my personal opinion. I would say if you are a narrow footer or a normal footer, I would definitely go down half a size for that one-to-one performance fit. If you like a little bit more room in your shoes in general, then I would stay true to size. In my true to size, these were definitely playable. And I did play with these in double socks one time and they did feel really good. Try this shoe on in person in stores because I do think the fit may be like the most kind of tricky thing about this shoe. In terms of materials, you guys can see this leather type of upper, but there's also a lot of reinforcement around this shoe. But there is like that inner booty type of neoprene material, which I personally really like. The ease of entry in this shoe is really, really nice for me. Main thing about the materials are that it's not too conforming as a fly knit or a mesh material. So again, partnered with the fit of the shoe and how, for me personally, it fits a little bit long, slightly long. It just wasn't a conforming experience to the point where I had to tie the laces pretty tight. So if you do feel that extra toe room and you can get away with wearing double socks, I would. I did play in them one time with double socks and I had no issues, which was great. Aesthetically, they do look good. These do look like a huge, nice, substantial signature shoe that, you know, I spent, I think $160, $174 with tax and shipping. So I really do like this shoe aesthetically and the materials definitely play into that. I will say this is not the most durable material. So we did talk about the outsole and how it's not good for outdoors, but in terms of like these plastic rubberized pieces for reinforcement at the toe box. You guys can see all the scuffing there. And even on the medial side, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's already like fraying away. So right there, it's already fraying away, which is not great. So definitely don't take these outdoors. Just like Dame himself, I do use the Game Day Move insoles in this shoe and they do feel a lot better in my personal opinion. I do like wearing this insole with all my basketball shoes, by the way, but I feel like these fit perfectly in the Dame 9 and that's something that we can expect because Dame is sponsored by Move. These also add a little bit more compression to the cushion, so I do like that personally. So in terms of my personal experience with the fit, if I could go back, I would definitely, you know, stay true to size because it feels good overall. There's no lockdown issue, there's no support issue, there's no heel slip issue, but to fill in that extra length in the forefoot, I'm definitely going to just play in double socks from now on. But again, if you don't like that extra space, I would definitely just go down half a size for that one-to-one fit. The other thing about the materials is that in hand, it feels a little bit more substantial. It feels a little bit on the heavier side. But when you're actually in motion and playing in them, they feel pretty good. They like feel a little bit more, again, with the cushion setup, it feels responsive. It does feel more of an average weight type shoe. And even, you know, sometimes it feels light, especially with that responsive cushion setup. The support on this shoe is phenomenal. I feel like it is so wide and you're not really going to turn your ankle. Like even if I try to turn my ankle, like it refuses to go that far. So the shoe is just so wide. The support features on the materials themselves, because it is so reinforced, really keep your foot locked in. And despite having a one booty upper, there's no heel slippage in this shoe, which is great. So support is honestly a 10 out of 10 for me. If you need the most support in a basketball shoe, I do think these are up there. So trying to do like that, planting, these definitely, you know, can just go with you. Making harsh movements and jabs. This shoe definitely goes with you, so I really like that. So overall, I really do like the Dame 9, especially in these launch BAPE collaboration colorways. They just are so nice. On the Dame 4, they had a BAPE collab, which was amazing. Again, my one downside or critique or main personal experience about this shoe is the fit. I do feel like it fits slightly long, so I will wear double socks in the future just to fill out the shoe a little bit better so I don't have to tie the laces too tight. Also the material, although it looks really nice, especially paves way for great colorways, I do feel like it's not as conforming to my foot as a fly knit or a mesh material. Lastly, I do feel like the traction picks up a lot of dust, so you do need to wipe. And I did experience some slipping in pickup games. But in terms of the overall cushion setup, the responsiveness, the traction, and on a semi-clean court, I really do feel like this is a really good performer. The support features are amazing on this shoe, which I really like. Obviously, everyone who doesn't like maximum support on a shoe. I would just say, if you don't like a lot of reinforcement or you just like very minimal materials, this may not be the shoe for you. But I really do like them for me. If you can try them on in store, that would be the best bet. But overall, I do think this is very competitive among the AE1 and the Harden Volume 8s. I really like the neoprene booty type of upper on this shoe. It really does feel nice. Adidas has an amazing basketball lineup. They all look really good. They all come in great colorways. So shout out to Adidas for making a really good resurgence of the Dame, line. It's been, I think, 1 to 2 years, or at least creeping up on 2 years since the last Dame. One thing I will mention as well is that these don't feel as quote unquote bulky as the AE1, because the AE1s are a mid-top design. It is on the heavier side in my personal opinion. These are a low top for sure, and they don't feel as, clunky, I guess, or as bulky as the AE1 mid. I'm definitely just going to wear double socks, fill in that extra, slightly extra toe room there, and I think these will be, in my rotation a lot. Again, durability is not the best on this shoe. You guys saw, a bunch of scuffs and stuff like that. Even the outsole I wouldn't take outdoors, but on indoor courts, these are going to perform well.